Hello, welcome, namaste. This is my outdoor classroom. And in today's meditation masterclass, I'm going to be teaching you different seated postures, how to breathe during meditation, and what you can be doing with your thoughts. This is a basic beginner's course on how to start meditating. I found meditation at a time in my life when I was just desperate for something to help me relieve stress, help me sleep, stop my overthinking. I was completely trapped in a negative rumination cycle, and it was just making me unhappier and unhappier. So I went on a meditation training and I was able to discover the gift of mindfulness. And that has led me to this masterclass where I'm going to teach you the basics because so often we want to learn to meditate, but we don't even know where to start. And the most basic thing is the posture and what props we can use and what props we can't use. I think there's a misconception with meditation that we need to sit on a mountaintop and we need to be all om and, in a posture that is deadly uncomfortable for our body, even if we are working with injuries. So, in today's masterclass, I really want to walk you through the opportunity to try different postures, use different props, because there is no one way to do meditation. There is many. So please join me in my outdoor classroom as I take you through all the steps. I'm Coach Darling, and welcome to Meditation Masterclass 1. Hello and welcome to this Meditation Masterclass number 1. I'm Coach Darling, and I'm so happy to have you here. So let's start with the basics. When you decide that you would like to start a meditation practice, the most important thing to decide is finding a space that suits you. So maybe that space is outdoors or it's inside in a lounge or a bedroom. Maybe you even have a spare bedroom that you can find a quiet space where you could possibly be undisturbed. Now, if you're like me and you live in a city, noise is inevitable. So I want you to find a place where you can keep the distractions down to a minimum. If you've never meditated before, I suggest finding the most quiet spot, a bedroom where you can close the door, close the windows, and it can just be you and your breath. But for me, I like my outdoor classroom. I love to feel the wind on my body. I love to feel the heat of the day. So I prefer to meditate outside, but this might not be your preference. So I would give a bit of thought right now to where in your house could you set up a quiet space that's just for you. And if you're like me and you want to put some props around, some plants, some energy, go for it. Set up the space so that it completely supports everything that you need to start this practice. So once you've decided on a space and you've found a quiet spot, let's move on to props. Let's move on to what can you sit on? How can you sit? What is the required position? And I'm going to take you through all of these options now. So for me, when I started to meditate, I was very much under the misconception that I needed to sit cross-legged, hands on my knees, spine straight, and not move an inch. That is not practical. And to be honest with you, sitting with my legs crossed, I find incredibly uncomfortable. I have very tight, small hips. So I find that sitting with crossed legs for too long, I get pins and needles. Now, let me tell you, if you get pins and needles in your legs, it's going to distract you unless you are a Buddhist monk that meditates thousands and thousands of hours. It's going to be very difficult to ignore the pins and needles. So for me, I found a position that really works for me. But let's start at the beginning. You can literally sit with your back up against a wall and you can put your legs out in front of you. So if you have a wall in the room or the lounge that you're sitting in and you find that sitting up straight the whole time is enormously uncomfortable for your upper body, lean against the wall. Move your sit bones right up against the wall so that the sit bones flush with the back of the wall. Set your legs out in front of you so that there's no pins and needles, and you can let the feet flop out to the side. You can simply rest your hands on top of the thighs, let your shoulders relax, And you can just find a neutral position for the head, not too far back, not too forward. I don't suggest resting your head on the wall. It could cause you to fall asleep, and that's not the purpose of what we're trying to do. So you just want to find a neutral head position somewhere in the middle of your leg. So resting the hands, this is a really great position to meditate in. It's non-distracting, and you can stay in that position for a good amount of time. Let's move on to our next position. So you have a cushion. Maybe you have a cushion in your house or a meditation cushion. So I'm going to show you the cushion that I have. This is what my cushion looks like. It's a half moon cushion. It's quite thick, and it's got a design that goes in, so it supports my legs when my feet are either crossed or if I'm sitting in what's known as a Virasana or hero's pose, which is my legs going back down to the sides. If you don't have this cushion, any cushion like this in your house, a scatter cushion will work the same. The process is exactly the same. So for me, I have a floor cushion. This is my floor cushion. It's just a square matted cushion that I put on the floor first. It's just because I don't enjoy my knees and the top of my feet flush on the floor. So get your cushion, put it flush on the floor, or you can put it on top of another pillow from maybe a couch inner, a couch bottom. If you don't have them, those couch bottom seated cushions work really well. But either or, you can put a cushion on the floor as well. Now, let's start with option one. I'm going to turn to the side to make this a little bit easier for you to see. So sitting on your cushion, make sure you want to find the base of your sit bones. So I find the more you sit on your actual sit bones, the straighter your spine can be, which makes this process a lot easier so you don't end up slumping. If you're able to sit sort of on top of the sit bones, it'll be easier. So you can kind of move the flesh out from your bum cheeks to find that center, but you'll feel it. You're either not too far back or not too forward. Right. So let's start with number one. You want to cross the legs. So if you're sitting in the cross-legged position, you just turn this way so that you can see. You're crossing over at the shins, top of the ankles, even if you like, and then you can gently let the knees flop out to the sides. So now you might have to just reposition yourself until you find a place where the knees can just relax. You can place the hands on top of the knees, or you can literally put your hands in a mudra. So it's like making a little bowl with your hands, one palm on top of the other, and then you can rest them. So you can literally rest your hands on top of the thighs so that there's no pressure on the shoulders, and you can completely let the shoulders relax. Now, this is a really good meditation position. It allows you to sit up straight so that you can breathe and be with your breath. But for me, I find that cross legs, because of the design of my hips, I find this position really uncomfortable long term. I get pins and needles, and I don't want to have the distraction of pins and needles as well. So for me, keeping the same pillow, there's another option. It's called Virasana or hero's pose. It's simply, if you pick up one of your legs, bend the knee back, pick up the other leg, grab in the front of the ankle, pull your knees back, and just reposition yourself so that you're not leaning into the knees. You are sitting firmly on your sit bones, but there's no pressure on your knees at all. Tops of the feet are on the floor, and there's no pressure on the feet. You're not pushing down through your feet. So for me, this is why I use a floor cushion. This is why it might be nice to use. You can even use those cushions that you have on your outside furniture, just pile them up underneath your feet. And play with the heights. Maybe it's too high and it sort of puts pressure on your knees, so drop a cushion, make it lower. But a simple couch cushion would also work for this. Or if you have a carpeted spot that you're sitting in, the carpet is perfect. It'll stop that discomfort on the top of your feet. So once you get the legs into position, I'm going to turn sideways and just show you what it looks like from the side. So you're sitting on the sit bones, you're bending at the knees, and you're sitting facing forward. Once you get that comfortable position, try and find the center of your body. Now, you will know straight away if you're in the center. You're either sitting too far back, which is pulling on the thighs and possibly pulling into your knees. You don't want that. So sit a bit more forward. If you sit too forward, you're going to see that you're putting a lot of pressure on the knees, and we don't want that. So just find the center point. You'll feel it when the sit bones both feel equal and you are sitting in a position that's not requiring a lot of work from your upper body to keep you in that position. Take your hands and place them on the top of the thighs. You can slide them further down. I have very long arms. I don't know, you probably can't see that, but my arms are quite long. So for me to sit like this, I find very uncomfortable. So you can slide the hands just slightly down and find a position where the hands can sit where the shoulders are completely relaxed. So I like to slide my hands further down the body. Then this is a wonderful position to meditate for long periods of time. You can sit here I've sat here in this position for up to an hour and I have no discomfort in my body. But that's my body. So this is why I'm giving you options. You can either fold the palms into each other and you can sit and literally sit up straight. This gives you an opportunity to open the chest, lift the spine, open the ribs so that you can breathe with ease. So that's my preferred meditation position. This is the one that I use. It's a hero's Virasana position. So I encourage you to try it and see how it goes. Great. Let's move on to seated number 3. So this is another favorite position of mine. I've used this many times before. There is a prop called a meditation bench. Now, this is a little bench. It's a little bench and it's got 2 little feet and it literally goes through the floor. Now, you can buy one of these or you can do what I do and I use yoga blocks. So if you have yoga blocks, I encourage you to grab 2 blocks. So they're just standard yoga blocks, whatever you've got, the cork or the what are these? Foam blocks. Foam blocks. I had to think about that. So grab your cork block or your foam block, and I'm going to show you position number 3. Welcome back. We are working with seated position number 3. So hopefully you grabbed your 2 blocks. So let's try this. So I want you to place the blocks either on the floor or on your cushion, whichever you're more comfortable with. Put the block facing down. Stack 2 blocks on top of each other. Now, again, there are 2 options with this seated position. You can either sit with your legs crossed, or you can sit with your knees in that Virasana position, that hero's pose that we had. So let me show you the seated cross-legged version first. So make sure your blocks are on top of each other. They're both flush, not one forward and one to back. They are flush on top of one another. Right. Find your way onto the block. So sitting on both the blocks, I encourage you to start with the knees up. And then you're just going to cross the legs behind away so that you almost are leaning forward onto the floor. The blocks might be at an angle. So let me just show you the side profile. So you're crossing the legs so you can actually see there's a lean in the block, right? Now you want to have both your sit bones again firmly and evenly on top of the block. So for me, I have very hard sit bones. So I can actually feel the 2 bones pushing into the blocks. So when you kind of find a position, it feels like it's even. You're crossing over the feet, the ankles. The ankles are crossed very, very close to the bottom of the feet. That's where the cross is. And then your knees are creating like the top of a triangle, or the base of a triangle, should I say. So this position is a great meditation position. You can find a place to rest the hands, either up here by the waist, or you can take the hands further down. Find a position where the shoulders are the most relaxed. For me, this position is just too intense on my knees. I can feel myself pushing down into the knees, and I don't like that discomfort. So this is not really a position that works for me. However, if I change the orientation of the legs to a hero's pose, if I pick up the legs, take the front of the ankle, take it back, front of the opposite ankle, take it back. Now you might need to readjust. Now, you want to see that you get the front of the sit bone. So where the top of your thigh meets your buttock, you want to have that part on the edge of the block right here. So just kind of wiggle around so that you can find the most comfortable part for your sit bones. So like I said, like me, my sit bones are very bony. So sitting on a block is often sometimes not the most comfortable. However, when you find that position, takes a little bit, so just be patient. I can rest my hands on the top of the thighs. I can relax my shoulders, open my chest, lift through my spine, and I have a wonderful meditation position to sit. This position is wonderful for long meditations where you might be visualizing and you really just want to focus on your breath or on the visualization. I find this position is extremely helpful because it takes the pressure off the knees, it takes the pressure off the hips, and it allows you to sit without worry. It doesn't even put too much pressure on the tops of your feet. Obviously, if you are on a hard surface with the feet, this could be a little uncomfortable. So take a towel or a cloth and just place it under each top of your foot so that it makes this position more comfortable. So this is position number 3, sitting on blocks, either cross-legged or with your legs in Virasana. Right, moving on. We're going to go to our next position. Now, if you're like me and you have a yoga bolster looks like this. It's a prop that's used for restorative yoga. Now, if you do have a bolster, this is a perfect meditation prop as well. Very, very handy if you are fatigued in your body and you just want to be able to sit without thinking about too much effort from your part. So let's move into that position. So remove your blocks, get your bolster, and I want you to place the bolster lengthways. So the front of the bolster is facing forward and the bolster is lengthways. It's not horizontal, it's vertical. When you get your bolster flat, you can literally imagine you're straddling a horse. So getting onto a horse, if anyone's ever done horse riding, this will be really sort of familiar to you. Otherwise, you are literally just sitting on top of the bolster. Right. Now, as you can see straight away, this is way more comfortable on the buttocks bones and on the legs, on the inner legs. So if you have very hard sit bones like I do, this is the perfect sole. Now you can use a couch cushion for this as well. The back of a couch cushion works really well. That thinner cushion that you use on the couch, this works perfectly. You can also stack pillows on top of each other. Sleeping pillows, you can stack 3 or 4, and this also works really well. But if you have a yoga bolster, this is a wonderful position to sit in. Get your bolster, sit with straddling the bolster, and place the hands anywhere. So you can either place them on the legs further down, or you can simply fold the palms and relax them on top of the bolster. This is a wonderful seated meditation position because it allows you to really just allow the body to completely relax, and you don't have to worry too much about the position of the body or any parts of the body getting uncomfortable with the prop that's beneath you. So this is a wonderful option. If you do have a yoga bolster, this is a wonderful position to get started with. It'll help you just to focus on the breath and following your thoughts. So if this is an option for you, get a bolster. Great. And moving on to our last option, which is a yoga mat. So if you just simply do not have a yoga cushion, you don't really want to sit on the floor, you don't have a yoga block or a bolster, but you do have a yoga mat, I have another position for you. So removing your bolster, get your yoga mat, keep it rolled up so the yoga mat is still rolled. Now there's 2 options for this. One, you can place the yoga mat horizontal. So put it on wherever your surface is, and you place the yoga mat horizontally. Right. Now you're just going to navigate your way to sit on top of the yoga mat. So cross legs, you are sitting on top of the roll. So the roll of the mat is beneath your sit bones. Crossing the legs over the ankles or the shins, wherever you're comfortable, either right leg in front, left leg in front. For me, I'm right footed, so I'm right handed. So my right foot always goes in first. But if you're left handed, your left foot will go in the front. So this is a wonderful meditation position. You can rest the hands on the knees. It allows you to sit up, reach up through your spine, open your chest, relax your shoulders. This is a wonderful meditation position. If you're very comfortable with sitting and you just need a little bit of leverage in the hips to help you so you're not flush on the floor and you do want a prop but you don't have a proper cushion, a yoga mat is a wonderful solve for that. So you're either sitting with the palms up, palms down, palms in, close to the body, or you can simply relax the palms. Let the hands rest on the ankles, and then you'll be able to meditate in this position. Again, really tight knees, tight hips. So sitting cross-legged, not for me. You can still use the yoga mat in a Virasana position. You just have to change the orientation. So take your mat and put it vertical. So the roll of the mat is facing forward and it's in a vertical position. Again, you're straddling it like you would a horse, so coming onto your knees, and then just sit the body back down onto the roll so that the roll of the yoga mat is directly between your legs, and you'll feel the sit bones are catching the edges of the yoga mat. This is a wonderful position to sit in. It's too low for me. I find that this compresses the front of my hips a little bit. So that might not be comfortable for you if you have tight hips like I do. But this is wonderful if you have really wide hips and maybe you enjoy actually taking your legs even wider. This might be a comfortable position for people with really long legs or people who do run marathons and things like that who get very, very tight in the upper part of their leg. So you can sit in this Virasana pose. You can bring the knees closer together. If that feels more comfortable, you can hug closer to the yoga mat, either resting the hands so that you can relax through the shoulders, or you can simply just sit with your hands on the top of the thighs or further down. So we have sitting on the floor with your body pushed up against the wall, using the wall for support of your back. So that's a wonderful position, really, really, really good for meditation. And it can help you as a beginner so that you don't have to worry too much about the position. We had our meditation cushion, which is my preferred option. But if you don't have access to a cushion, a normal cushion would do the job from a couch, or even a scatter cushion would do the job. We also had the bolster, a yoga bolster, which is an even more comfortable option for if you really do struggle to sit for long periods of time. We had our yoga blocks, creating a meditation bench-like texture. So a lot harder to sit on, a lot harder on the sit bones, but you're just stacking the blocks and you sit on it. And then we have our final position, which is our yoga mat rolled if we don't have any props at all and you only have a yoga mat. So that is the end of this lesson of our seated meditation options. We are going to be moving into our next lesson masterclass, which is how do we actually meditate? And I'll be seeing you in our next episode. Hello and welcome back. It's lovely that you're still with me. I'm so excited to take you on this journey of meditation with me. So we went through all the seated positions, and I hope that you found one that is going to help you find a little bit more comfort during your meditations, because it's important that you find a position that doesn't distract from what we're trying to do. So please, you are so more than welcome to put the comments below of what meditation position, seated position you loved. I would love to hear it. So don't forget to leave a comment. Okay, let's move on. So now you have decided you want to start a meditation practice and you have no idea where to start. And I'm going to help you with that process. Meditation is so simple. It really, really is not complicated. And there is so much misinformation out there about, oh, I can't meditate. I can't stop my mind. How am I possibly supposed to sit still for all this amount of time? Yes, these are things that happen during a meditation, but I'm going to teach you how to deal with these problems as you go along because they really are part of the practice. And when you understand that you're not trying to stop them or change them or remove yourself from them, this practice becomes so much easier. So let's start with the first thing. You find your position, now you're sitting, and I want you to just get into the seated position that you have chosen. So whether it's on the bolster, whether it's on the cushion, your floor, just take a moment and I want you to get into a position that is comfortable for you. Find the position with your hands. So whether your hands are sliding up and down the knees or the thighs, just find a position where your shoulders can relax in the most convenient way. You want to be open through the chest and you want to lift up through your waist. So imagine somebody just gently behind you, underneath your armpits, just sort of lifting you out of your hip bones. And I suggest if you are sitting in a Virasana position or cross-legged, you want to lean ever so slightly forward. I find that this just helps in the distribution of lifting out through your hips so that the weight of the legs are carrying that sort of just gentle nudge forward of the body. So when you find this position, I would love for you to just close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath in through your nose. At the top of the breath, open your mouth and sigh the breath out through your mouth. Let's try that again. Take a deep inhale breath. In through the nose, at the top of the breath, open your mouth and sigh the breath out through your mouth. Now, keeping your eyes closed, I want you to just start breathing normally in through your nose and out through your nose. And as we begin with this process, just become aware of the fact that you actually are breathing. Breathing in and breathing out. Just notice what is the length of this in and out breath. Are you breathing very slowly? Are you breathing quite fast? Is your breath very shallow? So sort of, that would be shallow. Is your breath a little bit more natural? Is it more like just a normal in and a normal out? And just see if you can bring a sense of smoothing out to this breath. So notice as you breathe in again. Imagine you were drawing a long line with the breath, just smoothing out any kinks. Breathe out through the nose. Same thing with the out breath. You just want to smooth it. So imagine you are soothing or smoothing out any creases in the breath. Breathe in again. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Okay, now gently open your eyes. Right. This is how the cycle of the breath will work throughout your meditation. You don't need to control how you're breathing. All you're trying to do is notice the breath as it comes in and it goes out. You're not here to judge this breath. You're not here to say, oh, my breath is so short and irritable today. No, we're just noticing at what speed we're breathing at. And we just want to see if we can apply a sense of calm to that breath. I find the analogy of trying to smooth the breath out is very comforting for me. But if for you it's drawing the breath in and out in a sort of smoother motion, that's also fine. Find an analogy that works for you. For me, smooth the breath in and smooth the breath out. Imagine each time you're doing it, you're just getting a smoother cycle in and out. So There is nothing to the breath. You are not going to be sitting throughout the practice trying to control how many counts you take in or how many counts you take out. There is time for a counted breath meditation, but that is not what we're talking about today. All we're talking about is allowing your body to breathe naturally. Now, if during the meditation you find yourself slumping, especially rounding into the top of the lower back, and you feel like your head begins to sort of edge forward, this is going to be quite difficult to breathe. If you feel this position right now and you try to take a deep breath, it's very restricted in the belly. It feels quite weird in the back of the spine. So that feels odd. So it's it's very helpful that throughout the practice you stay upright and you just breathe in and out. You'll find that the taller you sit through the hips, you're not pushing up, you're not holding the body with great tension to stay in this position. But if you just allow your shoulders to naturally sit, reaching up through the crown of your head, this breathing position is way easier. If you take a breath in, you can immediately feel the space is way different. You're breathing into the base of the lungs instead of sort of compressing and crunching that breath into the back of the body if you're slouching or rounding throughout the practice. So I find once you found that posture of where the hands can sit and the shoulders being relaxed, it helps you to stay in this posture for longer. So you're not trying to control the breath. You're just allowing the process to be natural. The longer you sit with the breath, the more the breath will begin to calm. You don't have to do that. The body will naturally move into the parasympathetic nervous system. So this is the part of the nervous system that creates cooling, that creates calm. Have you ever noticed when you're sort of in a state of stress or high anxiety, everyone tells you to breathe, right? Breathe in. This is the purpose of activating the parasympathetic nervous system. It sends a signal from your brain down your spine to calm the body, to send calming and cooling hormones so that you're not agitated and stressful. So the more you breathe, the more that cooling will gently move through the body, bringing a sense of calm. And before you know it, the breath will be much slower, much smoother, and you won't have to worry too much about it. So that's the breath element. Now I want to move to the element of how your brain begins to jump. I would like you to try an exercise with me. Find your position again as you're seated now. Your hands, shoulders are relaxed. You're sitting up, you're reaching up through the waist. You are sitting neutral with the head, not to left, not right, not forward, not back, neutral. And there is an ever so slight lean forward into the knees. When you find this position, gently close down your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth and sigh the breath out. Take another deep in-breath through the nose. Open your mouth and sigh the breath out. Now just come into everyday breathing, breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. And again, I want you to just bring this analogy of smoothing out the breath, breathing in, removing all the kinks or curves or notches in the breath. This long, so slow stream of breath in, breathing out, smoothing out the out breath. Now, all I want you to do is keep focusing on this breath, breathing in. See if you can watch the whole duration of the inhale breath all the way to the top, and then watch the exhale breath all the way through to the end. I know your eyes are closed, but just imagine the sensation of watching it. Perhaps use the analogy of drawing an invisible line in your head of the in-breath and the out-breath. Or just simply feel the sensation of the in-breath, creating space in the front of the chest. And as you breathe out, creating space and a relaxation and a softening through the out-breath. Now, as you sit watching this breath, just begin to notice if your mind starts to poke at you for your attention. Maybe you thought about, or you having thoughts about doing something later. Perhaps there's a little bit of a niggle in your body. Perhaps there's like a little tweak in one of your knees, or you can feel the top of one of your feet and you're thinking about it. Or perhaps there's even a noise in the distance, something that's starting to grab your attention. Just become aware of any of these things that might be happening around you. You just simply sitting, noticing as you're watching the breath. Are you having any thoughts? Are you thinking something? Maybe it's even an emotion. Maybe there's a sudden surge of something that's making you feel a little bit of discomfort or something that's just regarding your attention. And when you notice these things, a sensation, a sound, a thought, anything that's starting to grab at your attention, that wants to take your focus away from the breath, I want you to say, I see you. Thank you. Thank you for drawing my attention. And then I want you to come back to the beginning of your inhale breath, breathing in, watching the full length and breathing out, watching the full length of the exhale. So just for a moment with your eyes closed, I'd like you to practice that, breathing in and breathing out. All right. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Now, throughout that little mini practice, did you notice maybe a thought that suddenly popped into your head? Or maybe there was a sound outside where you just wanted to open your eyes and look what that was. Maybe there was a sensation in the body, like did you notice your heart was suddenly beating or making a noise? Or perhaps there was a tingling sensation in one of your limbs and that you've never really paid that much attention to before. Right. This is the monkey mind. And I'm going to explain it to you like a naughty little monkey. So imagine the thought, the thinking, the noise, the sensation, the emotion, anything that is demanding your attention away from your breath is known as the monkey mind. It's your mind going, hold on, why have you stopped? What are you doing? I want your attention. Pay attention to me. Hello, pay attention to me. This is just how our brains work. We're not designed to sit and just focus on our breath. And so the minute we do, our mind wants to, like a little naughty monkey or a small child, it wants your attention. So it's going to create a lot of noise to get your attention. Now you must know this is perfect. This is what happens. This is exactly what is meant to happen. So before you sit there and berate yourself, oh, I think too much or I have too many thoughts, we have upwards of 70,000 thoughts a day. 70,000 thoughts. It's going to happen. Your brain is designed to think. So it's going to happen. Right. Wonderful. Your job is each time you notice that maybe you get carried in that thought. So let's use a great example. You're thinking about lunch. Maybe you're like, oh, I need to still go and get lunch. I need to go to the shops. Maybe I need to buy something. Oh, hold on. Why am I thinking about lunch right now? I'm supposed to be watching my breath. That is the moment where meditation begins. It's the moment of realizing that you have now been caught up in the thought. The monkey has grabbed your attention. It's run away. It's up to you to have this moment, no matter how long that process takes, getting there and being, thank you. I realize I've been carried away in my thought, my emotion, my sensation, the sound outside. Thank you. I noticed it. Bring yourself back and come to the beginning of the breath. And you literally can say the words in your mind. Thank you for noticing that I have now drifted into my thought. I would like to come back to the beginning of my breath. You can say the words internally in your mind. You can say the words out loud. You don't have to say any words at all. Come back to the beginning of the breath. And this is like working out a muscle in the gym. It's this process of noticing that you've been carried off, getting your attention and bringing it back to the beginning of the breath. And each time starting over, breathing in and breathing out. So meditation is a simple practice of allowing yourself to sit in the moment, watching the breath go in and out. And each time you get carried off by a thought, thinking, a sensation, a sound, any sensation in your body or an emotion, it's about allowing yourself the kindness in that moment to say, thank you. I notice you've drifted off. I would love to come back to the beginning of the breath and begin again. Breathing in and breathing out. So that in a nutshell is meditation. There is nothing else to it other than that. It is about allowing yourself to sit. The longer you meditate, in terms of not in duration, the longer you have a practice. So this is the daily repetitive practice. It's called a practice. So that's going to bring us to the next part of this masterclass training, which is how long do you sit and how many days do you sit? So I need you to think about this like a gym practice. If you were going to gym and you were trying to get into shape, you would want to go regularly. You would want to create a routine because we are humans and we respond to routine. So find a way where you can add this practice into your life. I suggest as early as possible in the morning. For me, starting a meditation practice as I've woken up is the best time for me. I have nowhere else to be. I have no sort of immediate thoughts or thinking. I haven't looked at my phone yet. So the chances are my brain, the thoughts and everything is not going crazy already. So that's the best time for me. If you can only find time after getting kids ready or getting ready for work or whatever, if that's the only time you can find, perfect. You just need to find a space. But as I said, for me, set your alarm 5 minutes earlier and wake up to do a meditation straight away. Wake up and sit down and start immediately. It will really help. So I suggest starting with a 5-minute practice. Now, I know that seems pointless, but 5 minutes over a duration of a week is, if you did sit for 5 days, it's 25 minutes. If you sit for 7 days, it's 35 minutes over a week. That's 35 minutes of meditation you've done over a period of a week, which is a lot for somebody who's never meditated before. And then you can gradually increase the duration to 10 minutes. You can increase it to 15 minutes. See how, as you gently increase the time duration, notice if you enjoy a particular time duration. For me, I meditate every day and I meditate for 30 minutes. You don't have to do 30 minutes, but I've been meditating for a very, very long time. So 30 minutes for me feels like a very comfortable medium. If you just have crazy mornings and there is just no time at all, like the thought of waking up 5 minutes earlier just does not suit you, move it to the afternoon. Find a position where you can perhaps recline. Maybe you lie down after a really hectic day. And this is just an opportunity for you to melt into the earth. Close your eyes and be with your breath. Just remember, however, if you lie down, the chances of you falling asleep are quite high. So go through those seated positions that we went through at the beginning of this masterclass and find a position, perhaps maybe on the bolster. That's great for the end of the day. Sit on the bolster, allow yourself to just connect with your breath and let go of the day. Even if you have a crazy thoughts from the meetings you had or the interactions that you've had throughout the day, this is just a great opportunity for you to come back to your practice and allow yourself to let go of some of that baggage of the day. So you're starting, if you have never meditated before, and this is your first interaction ever with it, I suggest 5 minutes. Set a clock timer on your phone or you set it on your oven timer if you don't have a phone, and just allow yourself to sit for 5 minutes. There is no hard and fast duration that works better than another. This is about a practice. This is about gently, routinely practicing and getting into a longer and longer duration. How many days per week do I need to meditate? Right? This is up to you. I meditate every day. For me, this is the practice. This is the one thing I can return to over and over and over again. But if you only have capacity to meditate 3 days a week, that's what you have. Aim to add an extra day every 2 weeks. So if you are only meditating for 4 days at the moment in a week, great. In 2 weeks' time, see if you can add an extra day, 5 days. 2 weeks after that, see if you can add an extra day, and so on and so on, until you can get to a stage where at least once a day you are sitting for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, where you can sit and just allow yourself to connect with your breath. And know that this practice is not about being perfect. We're not here to become expert meditators. No one is going to come and give you an award for being this incredible meditator. So that's not the practice. This practice is about creating consistency. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. The more you allow your brain to stop with the thoughts, change into a parasympathetic nervous system, a cooling system for the body, you will find it is like a natural stress effervescent. If you've ever seen an effervescent where you put that tablet in the water and all the bubbles rise to the top, this is how a meditation practice works for stress. It really allows you to dissolve that tension, that cortisol, that hormone that gets released from the stress fight or flight tongue twister. So the meditation allows that effervescent effect to take hold of the body and cool everything down to a sense of relaxation, so that you can open your eyes, carry on with your day, or move into your night and have a sense of peace and calm with you. So meditation has so many scientific and health benefits. The list is endless. And as neuroscience develops and brain scanners get clearer and clearer, we are able to see that meditation has greater and greater effects on the body. It has nervous system regulation, which is the parasympathetic nervous system we were talking about earlier, the cooling, allowing the cortisol levels in the body to decrease. Over the day, we build up stress and anxiety, which, we have that flight or fight hormone, that cortisol, that, okay, we got to go, we got to act, we got to act, we got to go, we got to go. And over the day, that cortisol builds up and builds up and builds up and builds up to the point where we feel like we're tightly wound, where the smallest little touch on us might make us explode. So this is the cortisol effect. So what regulating your nervous system does is that the more you practice that regulation of cooling the body, coming into your parasympathetic nervous system, the gateway is the breath to your parasympathetic nervous system. It allows everything to cool down. So it gives you nervous system regulation. It's obviously a huge stress combater. This allows you to deal with highly stressful situations, and it allows you to release the tension of that stress so that you can perhaps ideate better or find better solutions. For me, meditation really helped me with clarity and focus. So I was extremely all over the place. I guess to a large degree, I was very ADHD, very ADD, very kind of hyper and, chopping and changing between subjects very quickly. And when I discovered meditation, I was able to find a sense of clarity and focus. The more I meditated, the more I noticed my clarity and focus got longer and longer. The average person cannot concentrate for longer than a prescribed 40-minute window, of which we can sit in active concentration, taking everything in. But meditation has allowed me to sit for so much longer without agitation in my mind, so I can focus and have clarity for longer and longer periods. So if clarity and focus is something that you're struggling with, the practice of meditation will help. Over time, it will gradually increase that clarity and focus so that you can sit for longer periods of time, actively taking in information. The practice of meditation is also an opportunity to practice self compassion or love for yourself. Now, I know that this is a very woo-woo subject, and everyone's like, I love myself already, and loving myself sounds strange. But I want you to deeply connect with yourself in this practice. This is about connecting to your heart, to your inner being, to your intuition, to that person within yourself. And we don't have a direct access to that until we meditate. If you allow yourself to sit in that parasympathetic cooling, that nervous system cool down, you'll find that there's like a connection to the inner being that you cannot get in a day to day setting. You will feel it. It is a gentle shift of calmness where you just feel connected. You feel like you are one with the inner being in your body. It's your spirit, it's your soul, it's your inner being, it's your intuition. It's the practice of connecting to your most highest self, the wise self, the self that allows you to get solutions to really big problems that are happening in your life, or to find maybe a path that you didn't see existed. Sometimes these answers only become available to us when we get in a position of quiet and calm. Often, if you look at your own life, there'll be times when things are very stressful. There's a lot of pressure to either perform or find a solution, or there's a lot of pressure on you in that moment. It's really difficult to come up with a solution when you feel compressed or constricted, both physically, mentally, and emotionally. So, the practice of meditation allows you to find some space within this moment, and the more you allow yourself space to connect to your inner wisdom, your inner being, your intuition, your higher self, your wise self, you will be able to ideate better. You you will notice that answers will almost beam down. Now I know that sounds quite bizarre, but it's literally the process of sitting with your eyes closed and you hear something that might be, you could try this. Why don't you do that? Do this. I have had entire business modules download into my brain about meditation, about yoga, about my retreats, where I simply just sit with my breath and allow my inner wisdom, my higher self, to come to me with the answers. So I encourage you to try this. If you are struggling with a problem in your life, something that's really bogging you down, and it's constricting you, it's making you frustrated, it's making you angry, this is the perfect time to sit and begin a practice. Allow yourself some space to breathe, to calm your nervous system, regulate into a cooling space so that you can ask for these answers. And when I say ask, I literally mean, please provide me the answers. You can sit with your eyes closed and internally ask, please show me the way, show me the answers. So many times we're constantly in search mode. Our brains are searching like little scanners and we're trying to find the solution, but we can't seem to find it. Everything feels like brain fog. If you allow yourself to sit, be calm, ask for divine guidance, show me the path, show me the answer, help me find the answer. You will be amazed one day when you sit in a space of quiet, it will beam into your brain. You will hear it. It will give you the answer. And that finally brings us to our moment of closing. So you've now spent some time, you've found a seated position, you've focused on your breath, you've allowed your thoughts to carry you off, you come back to them with compassion, you've connected to your inner being, your inner wisdom, your highest self. You're now practicing regularly. You've got a 10-minute practice, 15-minute practice, and you really are starting to find a groove with this practice. Firstly, well done. I'm so excited that you're on this journey. And I encourage you to start closing your practices with gratitude. There is no higher emotion that is more powerful than the act of gratitude. It's being able to sit with your eyes closed and say to yourself, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Feel that gratitude in your heart. Because when we experience gratitude from our heart space, we have so much more power to manifest that gratitude into our life. And being grateful for the not yet seen helps to bring our manifestations even faster and even quicker into our reality. So it's about bringing the palms together. If this feels comfortable for you, you can bring both your palms together whilst with your eyes still closed. And before you end your practice, saying, thank you. Thank you for this practice. Thank you for allowing me to sit with my breath and be calm. You can sit with the palms facing up. In the yoga world, sitting with the palms up is asking your wisdom, your higher self, your universe, your God, to provide the answers and for you to be in an open receiving mode when the palms are facing up. When the palms are facing down on the body, it is the yogic tradition of locking in the wisdom into the body, into the soul, something you have already received. So having the palms up allows you to be in an open receptive format. Having the palms together generates a connection to close that gratitude within the spirit, the body, and the mind. Or you can simply just keep the hands connected at the base of your body and saying thank you, feeling and experiencing that gratitude from deep within your heart space. So thank you. My gratitude from my heart to you for sitting with me during this masterclass. I hope that you have found incredible value in learning to meditate with me. I would love to hear about your experiences and how your practices are going. And if you have run into any problems, I've been meditating for a very, very long time. It has been over 10 years I've been meditating now. And I am so excited to help you get on this practice because it has helped me so much to find clarity, focus, and calm in my own world. So, again, thank you very much for joining me. I look so forward to future masterclasses together. May your practice be filled with love and gratitude. Thank you and namaste. Hello and welcome back to this meditation masterclass. So, in our previous episode, we went through the seated positions, we went through the breath, we went through the monkey mind, we went through the science fact as to why we meditate with our parasympathetic nervous system and cooling. And we also went through our self compassion and our love for ourselves with feeling gratitude through our hearts. So, in this episode of our masterclass, we're now going to be combining everything together and we're going to do our practice together. So, pick your seated position of choice, whether it's your cushion, whether it's the blocks, whether it's sitting up against the wall, whether it's your bolster or your yoga mat. I've chosen 2 blocks to sit on, and I'm in the Virasana position with my knees facing back with my hands, and I'm just going to rest them onto the top of my legs. So select your prop of choice, which you would like to use for this practice, and let's begin. So when you find your seat, let's just go through the setup. Feel if you're sitting in whatever position you're sitting in, that the feet are relaxed and your legs are relaxed and comfortable. Feel that you are sitting down onto the surface. The sit bones are both pushing down equally and evenly through your buttock bones, and you're sitting onto the prop or surface. Just feel that your waist is neutral and you're reaching up through the upper body. Let your hands just relax. Either they are facing up, palms up onto legs, palms down, or you have the palms folded on top of each other, creating like a small little boat, just resting on the inner thighs of the body. And just feel that your shoulders are down away from the ears and they're relaxed, and you're reaching up through the crown of your head. Imagine there was a long string coming out of the crown of your head so that you're just reaching up through the head. And then when you have gone through that position, I want you to gently close down your eyes. And let's begin with a deep inhale breath in through the nose. At the top of the breath, open your mouth and sigh the breath out through the mouth. Let's take another deep inhale breath in through the nose. Open your mouth and sigh the breath out. One last time, breathing in through the nose, opening your mouth and sighing the breath out. Just gently closing the mouth and coming into everyday breathing. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And all I want you to focus on whilst we're breathing is just making the in-breath smooth for the full duration and smoothing out all the curves or kinks in the out-breath, so that if you were drawing a circle or a cycle with each one of the in and out breath, it would be smooth on the in-breath and out-breath. And now as you sit, just allow your body to be heavy into the sit bones. Feel that you can bring a sense of relaxation without losing the posture to your body. Feel that you're softening down into the prop or floor where you're sitting, breathing in and breathing out. And you're just practicing on focusing your attention at the beginning or the start of the in-breath and following it all the way to the top. And notice that at the top of the breath, there's a little pause or a ledge where you stop and pause and see that it transfers or changes to the exhale breath, breathing all the way out. And just feel that at the end of the exhale breath, the same pause or ledge is there as you begin to inhale again. Just notice and become aware of these spaces. Breathing in and breathing out. And just gently allowing the breath to fall into its natural rhythm, long, slow, deep or shallow. Not trying to control or change the breath, just simply notice the pace and the depth at which you're breathing. Now on your next inhale breath, when you breathe in, I want you to imagine you inflating an invisible balloon in the belly. So as you breathe in, really feel the belly expand. And breathing out, let the belly soften and return back to its normal position. Just trying one more of these breaths, breathing into the belly, inflating like a balloon. And breathing out, letting the belly soften and return back to its normal position. Now just allowing the breath to fall into a natural rhythm, no control, no position. Just breathe normally and naturally. Breathing in, watching the full length of the breath from the beginning. And observing and watching the full length of the exhale breath. And just begin to notice if there's any distractions that are starting to pull at you. Perhaps it's the thoughts. You might fall into some kind of thinking pattern. Just notice if anything is beginning to pull at the attention of your mind. It might be thoughts, or you're starting to think about something in your day or later. Perhaps it's a sensation in your body. And if you're like me, it could be some external sounds coming from your environment. Gardening, hammering, talking, traffic, whatever it is, just notice these things that are around you. Just allow yourself to be in tune with what's happening around you without opening your eyes. Breathing in and breathing out. And each time you get pulled away with your thoughts and thinking, or the sounds that are happening around you, give yourself a moment to say, thank you. See that I've been pulled away. And then with compassion and gentleness and kindness, bring your awareness back to the beginning of the breath. You can say to yourself internally, come back to the beginning of the breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Allow your body to soften even more. See if you can relax your shoulders. Let your arms be heavy into your hands without losing your posture. Just feel the whole body get heavier and sink deeper into the surface beneath you. Watching your breath in and watching the full duration of the breath out. And just becoming aware of the sounds around you, the close sounds, perhaps more distant sounds, and even sounds further away. Just allow yourself to be fully open and immersed in this moment exactly as it is. Letting this moment move through you. Allow yourself to just observe it fully. Coming back to the beginning of the breath, breathing in and breathing out. Notice if your mind has drifted off into thinking or thoughts. Thanking yourself for this moment where you've noticed that you've drifted off. Perhaps you're listening to your inner voice talk, planning, forecasting, questioning. Whatever it's doing, allow it to be there. Say thank you. And allow your attention to come back to the beginning of the breath, breathing in and breathing out. Softening your body even more. Allow the arms to be heavier. Allow the base of the sit bones to be heavier into the cushion, the prop, or the floor where you're sitting. And just notice as you sit with this gentle breath in and out. Notice how you're feeling. Become aware of any emotions that might be present. Perhaps it's just a sense of calm. There might be some mild agitation. Whatever it is, just allow it to be there. Say thank you. And then return your awareness back to the beginning of the breath, breathing in and breathing out. One last time, noticing if you've drifted off into thinking, listening to your inner voice talk, or simply getting distracted by movement or sounds around you. Allowing yourself to notice this moment and then coming back to the beginning of the breath, breathing in and breathing out. Just allowing yourself to marinate in this moment of calm of the body, of a coolness or a stillness. Just become aware if you can feel that within your body. Now, if you are very much enjoying this practice and you're in a delicious moment of calm, I encourage you to stay in the practice when you're ready. Allow yourself to sit a little longer, exploring your mind, your thoughts, sounds, emotions, sensations. But if you've had enough and you wish to come out of this meditation with me, take a deep inhale breath in through the nose. Hold the breath at the top, open your mouth and sigh the breath out. Another deep inhale breath. Open your mouth and sigh the breath out. Now, keeping your eyes closed, return to normal breathing in and out through your nose. And let's join the palms in heart center if that feels comfortable for you, or simply turn the palms to face up. And wherever you are, just take a moment to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you to yourself for sitting in this practice of meditation, following your breath. Thank you, thank you, thank you to your body for allowing this moment of calm and stillness to come over you. And thank you, thank you, thank you for the unconditional love and compassion and kindness that you will always show yourself and your body. Gently release the hands, open the eyes. And just take a moment to feel your body. Notice the sense of calm that might be with you, even if it's the most subtle of shifts. This is the power of consistent practice. Being able to sit and breathe, even if you're getting blown away by the wind. I wish you a wonderful day of love, joy, and gratitude. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.